joke's on you guys, or joke's on me. Because see, I went and grabbed my handy box that says harmonic balancer / steering wheel puller. And wouldn't you know, all kinds of shit is in there except the harmonic balancer puller. Alright guys, what's going on today? We're going to jump in a little further into the big block. I'm going to tear this down a little bit further and try to see if we can figure out some more of either A, what's hurt, what went wrong, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully today, what I'm hoping to do is pull the cam out, which will finally answer the question, what cam is in this big block? I know a lot of people have been wondering. I've been wondering myself. I'm going to start taking it apart, probably pull the heads off. I want to look at the cylinder walls, that kind of stuff, and just get a little bit further into what is going on here and how bad did we screw this thing up. I figured today would be a good day to go ahead and get this engine apart, and you guys saw in the last video I had found that the cam obviously was looking like it was hurt. You know, lifters weren't looking too good, so we're going to pull those out. We're going to take a look at all the lifters, and we'll look at the push rods, and we'll look at the rockers, and we'll look at a bunch of stuff. So I figured while I'm working too would be a good opportunity to kind of talk to you guys about some of the things that's going on and some of the plans. So some of the stuff that I wanted to go over, just some of the different things I've seen in all the comments. I recently saw a gentleman say something about we need the dates for the events and all this stuff, because I was talking about going to an event, you know, not just saying this weekend and all that. The thing that sucks about that, and this is what this one kind of bit me in the ass. Like, I was talking about going to that race that weekend, and I really hate doing that. I hate putting that information out just because of the fact we have what we have here. Like, it seems like when I do that, I somehow curse myself and then not end up making the race. And that makes me feel bad because I know people are, you know, wanting to get out there. They're planning to go out. Oh, there's a good race and you guys can come and see the car and everything else. And unfortunately, that doesn't get to happen because of a situation like that where I say I'm going to be somewhere and then I break the thing. So that doesn't help nothing. I will try to do better about putting out the race dates and information where I plan to be and all that stuff as all of that comes up. Now, one of the things I can tell you, people have been asking about SHITBOX races. We talked about that in another video, and I don't have all of those dates locked in just yet. It looks like it's going to be 5 or 6, and of course this thing's a pain. There we go. When that time comes, I will go ahead. Oh, matter of fact, I got a tool for this. I mean, I bought it for some kind of purpose, whatever. But I never knew what exactly I was going to use it for after that. And then as it turns out, it became a great tool for rocker adjustments. It's a little like a little cobalt thing, but it's a socket set where the end of the socket is open, so you can stick something in there. Great little tool for adjustments. One of the things that I was going to go over, some of the comments, there's I guess I always just got to remember that people are new. You know, just because people are making comments on the videos doesn't mean they've necessarily been here the whole time, so maybe they don't know the whole setup on the car and stuff. Like I heard some people talking about progressors. I have a progressor on the car. I've got a Maximizer 5 from Nitrous Express. That's a progressor. That's what I run to progress the nitrous going down the track. Obviously, I use that in every situation, and I can tell you some of the finer points of that. Like when I was in New Orleans, we progressed the 300 shot over 0.8 seconds, I think. It was all in. The 300 was all in under 0.8 seconds. So we do have a progressor on the car. We've got some different Unfortunately, we don't have any kind of data logging on the car, which is something that I want to go to. And it's actually where I was talking to a friend today and kind of came up with an idea. And the idea was, I have a Holley Terminator X on the Dodger. Now, that's just completely unnecessary. Like, there's no need for a Terminator on the Dodger. It's just how it ended up and how it happened at the time. But I found out that I can take that same Terminator and put it onto a big block, obviously, you know, with some other parts and pieces, but I can run the whole thing off a Holley Terminator, which is very attractive because then we could also possibly run fuel injection. What I'm really after is the ignition control of the Holley. Now, the Holley has a lot more options and there's a lot more you can do with it as opposed to the MSD7 that I'm running now. For example, the MSD7 that I'm running now has a launch retard feature that is just timing over time, right? So what I mean by that is it'll give me the option up to 2.5 seconds and how many degrees of timing I pull. So in that scenario, let's say I pull 10 degrees over 2.5 seconds, which is the max. That line is linear. It does not allow, it doesn't plot it on a graph where it allows me to change that. It's just going to take 10 degrees and ramp that ignition back in over a linear line. And then what you find is sometimes maybe it doesn't need to be a linear line. It can be, you know, linear here, but then can swoop up, or there's different ways to do it. And the Holley would allow me to do something like that. So first initial inspection on the rocket, everything looks a-okay. It says a 1120, so I'm assuming that's a part number. CC for comp cams. All the push rod locations look good. They look a little worn, obviously, but they're going to be. Put that one out of order. Not that the order really matters as much, but just if I find a problem, I want to keep it in order so that way I can look at where I found the problem. Alright, so I've done some of the work to get us to this point just because the camera was dead and everything else. And we're going to go ahead and start pulling the lifters and inspecting those. Everything so far on the top end has checked out. We definitely got some wear on the roller of the lifter. I still haven't figured out what brand lifters these are. There isn't a marking other than it just says up. So up does me no good. But as far as anything crazy, I mean, definitely some wear. I really want to check, you know, there's the cam lobe over here on this other side. Actually, a couple of these cam lobes look bad, mostly on that side, which is weird because I thought I heard the squeaking coming from this side, but we'll find out. Right, here's one where I see the cam's in pretty bad shape. Oh yeah. Oh man. I don't know if you guys can see that lifter, but like right there, like flattened out pretty bad. Oh yeah. Can you feel that? Yep. So lifter's probably lost needle bearings. Yeah, that's not good. So there's one. Good news is lifters are going in the trash. Yep, so far we have got one roller, or one lifter, one roller in the lifter that it looks like it's lost needle bearings because it's jumping all around and moving in ways it should not. So yeah, it ate up that cam pretty good. Actually, that was the one I had spotted first, that one with the bad roller on the lifters, which tells me we're just going to keep finding more and more and more stuff, and this thing is definitely going to come completely apart. And you know, this is now at the point like it's got to be hot tank cleaned, have all new bearings, everything. Now, I'm not going to take it completely apart because the engine builder wants to do some of that stuff himself. Plus, if we're going to be shipping it or dropping it off, it makes it a little easier. There's not really a need for me to be pulling the crank out and stuff. Let him do all that, so they can do all that over at CRE. And now I guess we'll start taking the heads off and looking at that. Hopefully none of this got into the crank bearings and didn't mess up the crank too much or anything else, but we'll find out. Got a little further on in the process, and now we're going to do something that I think is kind of exciting. We're going to pull these heads off, and this is the side that had all the blow-by. I don't know if this head still has dowels on it or not, so I'm trying to be careful so I don't drop the damn thing, because they will slide right off. But I've already hit this one with a hammer, and so it came loose. Look at that dome, son! Oh! Damn! Damn! Oh, we're gonna have to grab the camera for that. That's some dome in that piston. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, baby. I like that. Look at that. Look at the dome on that sucker. And that's where the spark plug goes. Right there. And as you can see, like this one here has been nicked before. This one here has been nicked before. This is why that one there has definitely been nicked. They've all been hit at one point or another, it looks like. But that is why you index your spark plugs there. For all them jokers on the internet talking about indexing is a waste of time and what are you doing and blah 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 blah. Now do you see why? Look at that. The only thing I can't see is any kind of marking on the piston as far as like a company. And oh, we're missing a chunk of piston right there. Well, let's turn that over and get a closer look at that. Alright, so now that we're sitting here with the piston all the way up, I don't know if you guys can see, it's gonna be hard to kind of see. I'm gonna try to zoom in on. We missing a chunk, bud. I don't know why we're missing a chunk of that piston, but we're missing a chunk of that piston. Why do I sound so excited about this? Like, that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing that this thing's jacked up. That's not good. That is going to be an issue. How did that get there? How did that happen? So we went from possible just tear down, break it down, cam, a new cam, bearings, you know, hone, clean out, all that kind of stuff. The cylinder walls look okay. From what I've seen in the cylinder walls so far, they look okay. But we're missing a chunk of piston. So I guess we're gonna need pistons now too. Good times. Good times. Now, after some more movie magic, all of the head bolts of this side have magically exited stage left. And we've got more big ass dome pistons right up in here. I guess if you want to call it good news so far, I don't see anything wrong with any of these pistons yet. A lot of oil on that one, but that might just be from rolling it around, moving it around and stuff. That's probably what it is. So it looks like we've got the same thing as the other side. I'll grab the camera. Same thing as the other side, where you can see that the spark plugs have hit before. They've made contact. I don't know if this is something that I did or if this was previously done, but it's irrelevant at this point. Head gasket looks to be in good shape. The bores of the cylinder look good, so that's good news. And in the spot where the other piston broke, all those seem to be fine. We might get away with just one new piston if we can figure out what these things are. So there's the top end off. Now I'm gonna find some tools, Hopefully I've got the correct tools to pull that dampener off, and then we can get the dampener off and get the cam out, and then we'll look at the cam, and then we'll cry some more, and we'll see some more damage and everything else, and then we'll start talking about what in the world we're going to do and how in the hell are we possibly going to go racing anytime soon. Stay tuned for more. Well, joke's on you guys, or joke's on me, because see, I went and grabbed my handy box that says harmonic balancer / steering wheel puller, and wouldn't you know, all kinds of shit is in there except the harmonic balancer puller. I've got bolts, I've got random bolts, I've got parts of what would be like a harmonic balancer or steering wheel puller, but I don't have the actual piece that I need. So we're not gonna get to find out what the cam is today. It was like a really good idea for the film until I realized I gotta clean all that stuff up. I guess now we'll talk about the game plan. You might be thinking to yourself, Matt, how are you in such high spirits about all of these shenanigans that have gone on with your motor? The fact of the matter is, shit happens. You can either be incredibly sad and depressed about it and cry in a corner, or you can just take it as it comes, realize it's part of the game, keep your head down, keep working, and keep figuring out how to get back to racing. So fortunately, I've got a call in to the guys at CRE up north, and they already know what's going on. You know, I've already given all the information and sent pictures of the stuff that's damaged and all that kind of stuff. And fortunately, because this is not a super special build, you know, like, I don't think that there's one-off pistons in it and, you know, all that kind of stuff. A lot of this stuff is like some pretty off-the-shelf kind of stuff. So we're going to talk to them guys, and we're going to figure out what's going to happen, whether I'm going to bring the motor up, or he said he might come down, or we might meet in the middle, or that's logistical stuff. That's boring. That's irrelevant. But what we're going to do is, at some point, we are going to have a motor, and we're going to go racing. That will happen. Now let's talk a little bit about what I was thinking about for some of the plans. Let's see what this says here. I hate being distracted. It messes me all up. But some of the plans, right? So I found out that the Holley Terminator that I have in the Dodger can run the big block. Now, are we ready to go fuel injection and coil on plug and everything else? I don't know. I got to figure out how this is going to work out. I got to figure out what parts I would need, all that kind of stuff. But it's definitely something I'm looking into and interested in. And I'm going to be flat out honest with you guys. The reason I want to do some of that stuff is because if I'm going to be racing at this level, or the level that I want to race at, I need the things that I am most comfortable with. No BS, I need a little help with the fuel injection, because we travel all over the place, different different altitudes, different weather conditions, everything else, and the fuel injection is going to assist me in some of that stuff. So I think it's going to be better, and we're going to have a better shot in the long run of doing well if I can go coil on plug and have individual cylinder timing control, and have fuel injection, you know, have the individual cylinder fuel control if we need it, which is probably something I don't think we're going to need, but it would be nice to have it. But it's going to be nice to have that, you know, self-correcting, looking for the AFR, that kind of stuff would definitely be helpful. I also think Holley is a much better platform suited for what we want to do, because with no prep, you know, if we were just prep racing, it would be fine, I would say. You know, prep racing, at least in my definition, is throw as much power as you can at it and let it roll. Not saying that Holley wouldn't be good in prep racing, it is, and everything else, but in no prep, it's way more about the power control, the power management. You know, I think that's going to be more beneficial for what I want to do. Now, am I saying it's going to happen? I don't know. Am I going to look into it? Absolutely. If it's something I think we can make happen, we'll go from there. Now, as far as this motor is concerned, obviously we've heard of piston, so we're going to have to look at what pistons are in it. Can we identify them? Can we get new ones? All that kind of stuff. We've gotten to the point now where, you know, I've realized where we're at with this motor. We know it's going to need to be completely blown apart, everything, and it's going to have to be 100% gone through. So that's probably not something that's going to happen here in the garage. Just, I don't have a hot tank to put it in to clean it out and all that kind of stuff. All right, let's pack everything up and get ready to ship it off, and we'll go from there. Get it figured out. If we can't get that piston, I don't know, do we do a different set of pistons? Do we take a little compression out of it? Who knows? To be honest with you, I've got no clue. A lot of it's going to depend on what the folks at CRE say and how it all works out and plays out. The good news is I know for a fact that somehow, some way, one way or another, however we end up there, we're going to go racing. Probably not at the thaw out. Probably not. I've already called Billy and offered him my spot, or I texted him and offered him my spot, so I got to wait for him to get back to me on that, if he wants to take it or not. Probably not going to make it to Darlington, but not the end of the world. We have to sometimes step back a little bit and set ourselves up for a greater comeback. We'll see what happens. As always, I cannot thank you guys enough for watching these videos. Really means a lot to me. You know, there's a lot of positivity in the comments. There's also some negativity. I've been seeing y'all negative Nancy's. I've been seeing y'all hating. We might have to bleep that out. But I've been seeing it. It's cool, because what people don't understand is if you like the video, you don't like the video, you like me, you don't like me, whatever the case is, if you're watching the video, it's still helping the channel grow. So at the end of the day, take that negative, turn it into a positive, and we're there. One thing I do want to address, though, I've been getting a lot of comments about this, so we will get it nipped in the bud right now, right? Folks have been asking me about other individuals. I'm going to just flat out tell you what's going on. Me and Bill are not on good terms at the moment. I'm not saying that we will always not be on good terms, but at this exact moment, we are not getting along with each other very well. With that being said, I keep my personal business and affairs, or at least I try to keep those things private. I don't believe it's everybody's business. The flip side of that too is what doesn't help is people going off the chain, off the rails, getting in the comments, going all crazy about shit that honestly they don't even know what they're talking about. Because in all reality, what you guys see in videos is a very, very small part of our lives, and is a very, very small part of a truth. You know, the whole picture is bigger than what it is that you guys see. So with that being said, there you go. You guys got it. I addressed it. We ain't getting along right now. That's all I'm going to say about that. Out of respect for keeping personal business personal, that's the last we're going to talk about it. Now, I guess Billy is up on a chopping block too. I don't know where people got that misconception, understanding, but I live in Delaware. He lives in Ohio. We are 8 hours away. We are still friends. We talk regularly. This is the racing off season where we don't, you know, have the opportunity to spend a lot of time together. So you're not going to see him in my videos or me in his videos or any of that kind of stuff, just because we're both at home working on things, getting ready for the year to come. Doesn't mean we're not friends. Doesn't mean any of that. I don't even know why I'm saying this stuff, but like, I guess just to knock it out, address the comments. There you guys have it. So if your sole purpose in being, you know, in this channel and watching these videos is to worry about other people and other things and drama and everything else, I'm sorry, but we don't do that here. That's kind of not the way that I operate. I'm not a drama guy. It's just not the kind of stuff I like to put out to the world. So, I don't know, I guess have fun in all the comments, and you guys can curse me and each other and everything else under the sun, whatever. But don't be surprised if your ability to comment disappears, because I just hate seeing that stuff. It distracts me from accomplishing the tasks that I need to accomplish every day so we can get back to what is important, which is cramming this car down sketchy ass streets, no preps, front side no preps, back side no preps, and beating pro mods, right? I think that's what we're supposed to do. It's kind of heavy to do that. Whew. It has been a long week, a long few days, a long everything else. I just want to say, as always, thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for everything. It means a lot. I know a lot of people have been offering up parts and this, that, and the other. I don't know what we're going to need yet. And honestly, that's going to be something more that the engine builder decides than I do. Like, no offense. I know my part is let go of this and go wah, with my foot to the floor. When it comes to what pistons we're going to put in, what camera we're going to use, what all that kind of stuff, I'm not ashamed to say, like, I am not a camshaft expert. I am not an engine builder. I am not one of these, people that have done it for years and have all the experience in the world and everything else. So that's going to be somebody else's decision. I think the main thing here is that a lot of people that watch these videos, I would say for the most part, there's some people that just love to be unhappy. So, hi unhappy folks. But for the most part, everybody wants to see me do well and wants to see me start kicking ass. We're going to put the effort in, this is part of it, this is the work. We're going to put the work in, we're going to put the effort in, we're going to do the very best we can to start kicking ass. So before I bore you guys too much, I'm going to cut this video short. As always, like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff you guys have all been doing anyway. I don't even know what the next video is going to be. And we were going to start on the El Camino project a little bit. We did start on that. We've started filming, but like any good project, some things that are beyond our control have already gone wrong and has caused us headaches and time delays and everything else. So we'll get into that at some point. But we'll keep it flowing. We'll keep moving. We'll keep moving forward, keep working at it, and hopefully be back to kicking ass. Look, the winter time sucks, okay? Trust me, I would much rather be trying to race every weekend and everything else and dealing with those headaches instead of we're sitting around twiddling our thumbs because it's cold out and there ain't a whole lot to do and we're trying to make upgrades and things not are going right and everything else. But give it a couple months, everything will be back into the full swing of things. We'll be traveling the country, we'll be racing, we'll be having fun with our friends, we'll be doing hood rat shit, I'll be throwing events, participating in others, and everything will go back to normal. And everybody will have the wintertime blues out of their system. So, thank you guys. Until next time. Probably one of the last times you guys are going to see this thing. Unless I video, like, dropping it off or something.